Welcome back to Quick Business Tips. I'm Jennifer Swineford with Limitless Impact Agency, and today we are talking about that relentless push for perfection. It is so easy to find yourself constantly striving for those perfectly curated feeds, that flawless website copy, expertly produced videos, and let's be honest, it can be exhausting, right? But we see these amazing polished images everywhere. And it's so easy to fall in the trap and feel like we have to keep up or we won't be taken seriously. But what if I told you that I am learning and hoping to incorporate more that striving for perfection might actually be hurting your ability to really connect with your audience, build that community, and grow your business? So today what I want to talk about is flipping the script and giving ourselves permission to be imperfect and explore the value of taking action over perfection, and let's play around with it and see if, like my research tells me, that it might just be the secret sauce to building that genuine connection with your online community. But first, let me show you a little proof about how chasing perfection actually hurts your growth, especially when you're trying to build a community around your business. And right now, that is what I'm seeing work. It is that personal relationship-based selling that is bringing in the dollars. So perfection hurts, number one, because it often reads as fake. When everything feels just a little too polished, a little too perfect, it loses that humanness. And people want to connect with other real people, not flawless robots. So sometimes that perfectly curated image can feel distant and unrelatable. Number two, perfection does not build trust. We are naturally suspicious of things that seem a little too good. Where are the flaws? Where are the cracks? Where's that shoe gonna drop? What is that person hiding? Vulnerability, transparency, and even a little bit of messiness are the thing that can really build a deep trust and connection. And let me tell you, I am having difficulty really leaning into it, but I'm making an effort. And the third thing that perfection does to hinder your business is that the reality is it's just exhausting and it's not really attainable. It's certainly not sustainable. The sheer amount of time, energy, effort, and oftentimes money that is required to maintain this flawless facade rarely, if ever, pays off in the long run. And more often than not, people that are striving for this perfection are the ones that end up burnt out because it's taking time away from the activities that are really going to bring profits in the door. The activities like serving your clients, building deeper personal one-on-one relationships with them, building your email list, improving the type of content that goes out, not how you look putting that content out. Plus, when you wait until you feel perfect or even feel ready to do something, that often means that you're delaying getting that valuable content out to your customers. If you don't look back at some of your posts from a year ago, or some of your videos, or some of the emails that you sent out a year or two or three ago, and cringe a little, you probably waited too long and you tried to get too perfect. And you could have been seeing profits and results and sales years earlier. So it's okay to show your audience that you don't have it all together all the time. But how can you practically take steps to get there? I have 3 steps that I am working towards on my own. The first one is share your mistakes. Talk about things that didn't go the way you planned them to, lessons that you learned from your past failures, or times that you were just really nervous or stressed out or burnt out. Now, I don't recommend doing this when you're in the middle of the struggle. Wait until you've worked through it, learned the lessons, but not too long. Like, you don't want to wait until it's like, oh, 5 years ago when I was having problem making sales, I did this. Well, cool. What worked 5 years ago probably isn't going to work today. But if you also do it when you're right in the middle of it and you're sharing your content and tears are streaming down your face because you're so stressed out or you're so burnt out or you're so whatever you have going on, that's not really the best look either. So you've got to find a way to show your audience that it's normal to struggle, and that's what makes you relatable, but also that you've learned and grown and can help them through the same struggles. Action step number 2 is to post some imperfect photos. And guys, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Haven't done this one yet, but I'm getting there. Because not every picture needs to be a professional headshot. As much as I really prefer to only show my professional headshots, I know that it's important to show my audience who I really am. That girl with the messy bun or the ponytail. And when I say messy bun, I mean like not an intentional with bobby pins. I'm talking like a messy bun. And it's in sharing those candid moments and even slightly blurry selfies, if that's your style, or images that just catch you in your real life scenarios that can really draw someone in and find a way to connect with you on a deeper level. And that is what starts to build the trust. The third action step that you can take is to show some of that behind the scenes messiness. So, giving a glimpse into the reality of running your business. Maybe it's a cluttered desk before a big project is due, or some tech glitches that you didn't see coming until they were already out there for everyone to see. Or maybe you've got post-it notes all over your wall because you're brainstorming a new program or service. Pull back the curtain a little and you will see your trust skyrocket. Because when you bravely show that you are a human with flaws just like everybody else, you give people permission to do the same thing without even saying it out loud. You're sending a signal to your audience that this is a space where realness is valued over perfection and polish. Now, modeling perfection is the first step. But the second step that you can take with your audience is by responding to people in your community that step in and take up your offer, whether it's spoken or not, to participate in life's realness. So maybe they are sharing an opinion that you don't fully agree with on one of your posts. Maybe they add a comment that has a typo or isn't phrased quite right. Or maybe they are leaps and bounds ahead of me and they share something that's deeply personal and really puts them in a vulnerable position. Now, how you respond to these posts and comments, that's critical for whether or not you're going to have future human imperfect engagement in your community. The guiding principle that I use is to reinforce their participation and their imperfection by doing 2 things. Number 1 is praising their vulnerability and openness. Thank them for sharing their thoughts, ask them some more questions, and make sure that you are grateful for them for putting themselves out there. Acknowledge the courage that it takes to do that. Don't assume that by, jumping into it and asking open-ended questions, that there's an implied thank you at the front or the back of that. I like to throw thank yous in on both ends and tell them how amazing they are with a little meat in between. The second thing that I do is to ask open-ended, yet still very low pressure questions to encourage more interaction along these open, imperfect human type of lines. Like, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you're thinking about whatever they mentioned in their comments? Or tell me more about the way that you're feeling about this. Not only does it invite further comments and dialogues and engagement and opens it up to the entire community, but it's also, again, just very encouraging that they stepped out there and put a comment for everyone to see. Because your response on your own post or in your own Facebook group or your own community, that's what's going to set a tone for everybody else. If you meet that imperfect participation with grace, encouragement, and genuine curiosity, you are signaling to everyone that it is safe to contribute here, and you foster that rich, more active community that so many businesses are striving for right now. Embracing participation over perfection also influences the type of content you create and your general communication style. Because the specifics are going to depend on your business, your audience, who you're trying to market to. But there are three shifts that I see across the board when people start really rooting in to this imperfect is okay mindset shift. One, they start asking more questions. Instead of being the fount of knowledge that you absolutely are, sharing your facts and opinions and ending your posts, emails, videos, podcasts with, you know, reach out if you want help on this topic. End it with more open-ended questions that invite further discussion and encourage other perspectives to chime in. Make it clear that you want to hear from people who agree and disagree with you. Now, we mentioned sharing behind the scenes photos of how you do your work, but also modeling that content in your post, your emails, whatever you are sharing with your audience, that sharing all of it, not just the pictures of it, is what kind of demystifies your business and makes you more human. I have had clients tell me, and I was shocked when they said it, that, they were sharing with me about feeling like they're juggling too many balls and being overwhelmed and like dropping things and, feeling so terrible because they completely forgot that they were supposed to be working on this project or whatever. And they're coming to me for help. And I'm like, I got it. I've been there, I've done it too. And they were stunned. And that moment, it's happened more than once, completely threw me off balance. I was like, wait, what? Why do you think I'm perfect? But they felt that way because I never shared with them the struggles that I've had too. And I continue to have. I mean, mistakes happen, balls get dropped. You trust a contractor that, either you miscommunicated with or you just shouldn't have trust. Things happen, and sharing those mistakes with your clients and your community and the public really just makes you connect on a deeper level. The third thing that you can do with your content is adopt a little bit more of a conversational tone. Now, this is obviously going to depend on your brand voice and everything that you are thinking through and curating, but as you are thinking through curating and tweaking or optimizing your brand voice, you might want to think about being more conversational even when you are sharing your amazing expert advice. Instead of reading it like presenting your content like a TED Talk, think of it as having a conversation with a friend over a cup of coffee. Your language becomes a little more simple, You inject your own unique personality and throw out all of the formal jargon. This will lower that intimidation factor and make your content not only more accessible, but more engaging. These three shifts will invite participation just by making some small changes to your content, because it makes what you're presenting feel less like a lecture and more like the start or middle of a conversation that you're having with a good friend. But it's important that I am super clear on this point. I am not talking about sloppy, phone it in, unprofessional content. This is about changing what your priority is. Because I don't ever have a conversation with a serious business person whose main goal is to prevent a flawless, impenetrable image. What their main goal is to increase their sales, increase their profits, build a stronger team. So you got to think about what your main goal is, and then maybe let some of this other stuff that is less important dial back just a little bit, and then see. Marketing is all about testing. So see if you do this for 30, 60, 90 days, are you starting to build more genuine connections? Are you fostering that trust? And are you creating a space where real conversations are starting to happen? Because while a perfectly curated feed might look really impressive when you sort of click on that for the first time, after you dig in for a minute, it often starts to feel cold and distant, where an authentic, occasionally messy, but actively participatory feed may not look as perfect, but it feels so much more alive. And isn't that what we're all looking for? Is to connect with other people in a way that makes us feel even more energized. And by connecting, you build a deeper loyalty that's going to create a foundation for your business and bring in the sales over time. So, are you ready to give yourself and even your community permission to be imperfect? Here's what I'd like you to take away this week. The one simple step you can do right now is to share one thing online that feels just a little less perfect than it normally is when it comes from you. So maybe it's a quick behind the scenes photo or video clip, even just something where your desk is a little out of order, or a post admitting that you don't know something or a mistake that you made in your business and then learned from. Or your third option is ask a question that encourages your audience's opinion, but in a way that isn't like, I'm taking a poll. It's in a way that is more like, hey, I don't have all the answers, and I really want to know what your guys' thoughts and experiences are on this topic. So choose one of those three things. And by doing that, you're going to take a step towards modeling imperfection and inviting participation into your community. Then once you've done that and you've gotten some feedback, stop and take a moment and see how it feels. What kind of responses do you get? Do you want to try it again? And if so, start taking some more of those similar steps and growing that more authentic connection with your audience. Now, if you would like help figuring out how to build your online presence and crafting a marketing strategy that really attracts high-paying clients without the demands of perfection, I would love to talk to you. So you can book a next level conversation with me. We're just going to have a connection. We're going to talk about the results that you're looking for and talk about things that you've tried that haven't worked in the past. There's a link in the show notes. Find a place on my calendar and let's get to know each other. Until next time, keep connecting, keep encouraging that participation, and keep striving for your own limitless impact.